Welcome to the Canoga Park Youth Art Center's new series, World Art, where each class will go to a different location around the world and will learn about their art, their architecture, and their culture. Today, we're going to China. This is where China is. And in the Chinese culture, the dragon has been a very important symbol for thousands of years, like since 5000 BC, which was even before the pyramids. So here's the dragon we're going to be doing today. I'm going to show you a very easy way how to do this dragon. Now, he's just in very simple landscape, but you can add anything you'd like to that. Let's take a look at some of the dragons from China. Now, this first dragon really demonstrates how easy our dragon is going to be to draw. If you look at it, it almost looks like a worm, a wiggly worm. The dragons of China typically don't have wings, but you are free to add wings if you'd like. So you can see it's got its little hump. It usually has something on the tail, and it's got its claws. And the head is kind of the shape of a rectangle, and I'll show you how we can make these dragons very easily. Let's go to the next dragon, and I'll tell you a little bit about the dragon. In the Chinese culture, they symbolize strength and power. They also have control over water, rain, typhoons, and floods. They also mean good luck for people who are worthy of it. They are also associated with the emperor. Now, they're not like the fire-breathing dragons of Europe. The Chinese dragon represents prosperity, harmony, and good luck. Now, on these pictures, you can see that part of their celebration is that they make this really cool long dragon, and all the people hold a stick, and they each have a different part of the dragon, and they do these processions throughout the town. Here's another one. You can see all the people here. They're all holding up this part of the body, and then one guy gets to hold up the head. Now, if we look up here, here's one of the other ones that we're talking about, the fire-breathing dragon. This guy's got wings, too, and they're kind of like bat wings. They have these little ligaments in them that hold the wing upright. You can tell on this one too. But they're kind of like a triangle. If you take away these points, they're kind of like a triangle. So when we draw our dragon, I'll show you how you can make simple wings that are more or less the shape of a triangle. Let's take one last look at my drawing before we begin. Now, if you see, I started off, I have my one little hump here, and I want you to notice the body is fatter in the middle, right? Because all his major organs are in here. So his body is fattest in the middle, and as we go to the end, it gets skinnier and skinnier. You can put whatever you like on the end. Remember what I said about backward knees. This is the dragon's knee. It goes this way. Our knees go this way, but animals' legs, their knees go that way, birds too. And here's our other leg. Now, you can put all kinds of fancy things around here, and you can see that's kind of the shape of a rectangle. But let me show you the step-by-steps of how we can do our dragon. All right, step number one is easy enough, right? We draw a wiggly line. One part of it's got to be up for the neck, the other one, whatever you want to do with the tail. Your tail can be facing down or facing up. The second step is to add another line so it creates the body of our dragon. And remember, the center part of it needs to be fatter than the neck or the tail. On our third drawing, all I've done is added a rectangle for the head and the beginnings of the legs, zig, zag, zig. That is our dragon's knee right there. This is going to be our dragon's foot. Now remember, the backward knee is kind of like a backward two. Curls around like this and then goes flat. Now, in our next drawing, I'm turning my legs into legs. So I'm adding volume to my legs by making them thicker, and I'm remembering that my legs are skinnier at the ankle than they are up here where they connect onto the dragon. And I just put whoop, whoop, whoop to try to make claws, but you can make your claws any way you want. And here, remember we had that backward too? I just brought it in from here and then gave him his back long foot and gave him his little toes and his toenails. And in the final stages here, I'm going to do a little bit of erasing at the end, but you can see on my rectangle, I put a little bump on the nose here. I put a little bump under the chin, and this is where the dragon's mouth is going to go, and I just can put some little teeth in there if I want. My legs have been finished up, and then the only thing left to do is to put my little razor back down the middle of his back. So just from starting with one wiggly line, we wind up with a dragon. It's easier than you think. Let's try to make one. All right, we're going to begin our dragon. Now we're going to follow the steps I showed you. So we're going to start up high, come down. Here's one hump. We have room for another hump. And then I'm going to have it come all the way down here. Now we're going to do the body of our dragon. Remember what I said. The body of the dragon is thicker. And as we come around for the tail, I'm going to get skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. And then you can put anything you want on the end of your tail. Now for the head, remember what I said was going to be a rectangle? Here we go. Here's our rectangle. That doesn't look so much like a dragon though, so we have to kind of do some things to it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put ears, big ears. I'm going to put a little bump down here. That's where his eyeballs go. I'm going to put a little bump here. That's where his nostrils are. And I'm going to put a little bump on the bottom here. That's where his chin is. Now this is where his teeth go. And you can draw your teeth. Little eye goes up here. Okay, so we got that part of it sorted out. Now we have to do the legs. Remember what I said, bink, bink, bink. There we go, they get smaller as we get down to the bottom, and boop, 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 boop. Now these are my little claws. There's his front paw. Now we're going to use that backward too here, so it kind of comes around like this, and then comes down like that. And then the bottom palate just comes right from down here, come like this. There's where his foot's going to go, hump, 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 hump. Now we just put in claw, claw, claw. So now we have all the body parts. We just need our razor back. You can make this any way you want. You can make it bigger, smaller. There we go. We're going to go all the way down to the bottom. Now if you do want to put wings on your dragon, remember what I said they look like triangles? Here's our first triangle. All right, that's the first wing. But remember what I said? They had those little things in it. So we're going to go whoop, doo-doop, doo-doop. See how I did that? So I just did a triangle, and then I made these little, what we call scallops there. And I'm going to take a line, I'm going to draw it from each scallop down to the bottom. Now you can leave it with one wing, or you can put in another wing. There we go. So that's the wing on the other side of his body. Let's put in a real quick horizon line in here. So our dragon is located in space somewhere. If you want, you can always put some mountains in here. We don't really know where our dragon is. You would have to decide that. And then the last step is to put in the dragon's scales. Oh, wait, there's one step before that. Remember on our alligator, how I said that the alligator has an underbelly that's slightly different texture? So you see how I'm kind of tracing that bottom line like that? I'm going to have it come all the way in here. This is the underbelly of our dragon. And if you're a dragon slayer, this is where you are aiming with your sword, because this is the only part of the dragon that your sword will penetrate. So if you're a dragon slayer, you have to look for this part of your dragon. Now the last thing we have to put in are the scales. And those are just scoop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop, and then another row, scoop-a-doop, scoop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. We just make these lines that go all the way, just one right after another, all the way around our dragon's body. And this winds up looking like those scales, like a fish scale in a way. If you were doing a fish, you could make the same types of lines, and it would mimic a fish scale. You get the point. We'll do the whole body, and then we come back and we do the legs. And remember, once you're done with your drawing, then you go back in with your eraser. Now that you've decided what lines you really want, you can come in and kind of clean some of this up a little bit. Maybe I want to give him these really big teeth at the front. And he has a little jaw. If you want to get fancy, dragons have a little jaw there. You can put a little smile there. All right. Well, there's our dragon. But as usual, I have an upgraded version of our dragon. In this case, it kind of serves two purposes. I did my drawing, and I cut my dragon out. And I colored it with markers, because if I used paint, my paper would be all funny. It would be ripply. Now, this makes a cool toy. I just grabbed a stick, put it on a stick, so it makes a cool toy. You can play with it as a puppet, but what else you can do with it is if you hang up a sheet and put a light behind it, it makes a great shadow puppet too, because the shadow of our dragon will be cast on the sheet. So you could make other characters. You could have a whole shadow puppet show by just starting off with your one cut-out dragon. I hope you enjoyed going to China today as much as I did and learning about how important a symbol the dragon is in that culture. And you learned how to draw a dragon. Thanks for joining us for Canoga Park Youth Art Center's series, World Art. If you made a dragon and you like it, we'd love to see it. Thanks for joining us.